I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, and how he was acting, being that, me, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, we was all cool at one point in time. And
now remember this.
Sounds familiar.
No. I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36 and we fight.
24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Bud Crawford surpasses him in accolades because of the undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighters that fought great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a deeper resume than Bud Crawford.
During a live interview, Terence Crawford confidently spoke about Floyd Mayweather and his own place in boxing history. He declared that Mayweather's era is over and insisted that this generation belongs to him. Crawford underlined that Floyd's dominance has ended, and attention should now be on him as the sport's leading figure. With firm conviction, he presented himself as the fighter responsible for carrying boxing forward today.
Broadcast for Jake and Tyson, and some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules, exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
So you don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Floyd Mayweather reminded everyone that he defeated Canelo Alvarez when he was already older than him, showing his experience and skill. He argued that Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo should not be overly celebrated, since both fighters earned their biggest wins against the same opponent. For Floyd, this reinforces that his own achievement was greater, and Crawford's success does not place him above Mayweather's legacy.
Canelo is a hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. And everyone is now saying that he's not the same fighter. He's not looking the same. Now remember this.
Sounds familiar.
No. I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36 and we fight. And now what they're gonna say, well, now he got what? I don't know how many fights he got.
Some boxing analysts believe Terence Crawford should not yet be compared to Floyd Mayweather because he does not hold the perfect 50-0 record Floyd achieved. They argue that defeating names like Canelo Alvarez isn't enough to surpass Mayweather's greatness. Many suggest that Crawford must move up and fight David Benavidez, a dangerous and physically dominant opponent. Beating Benavidez would prove his fearlessness and show he can overcome one of the sport's toughest challenges. Without such a win, they insist, Crawford cannot be remembered at Mayweather's level despite his accomplishments.
You look at Floyd's record, right? Floyd's legacy is 50-0, 24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Bud Crawford surpasses him in accolades because of the undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighters that fought great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a deeper resume than Bud Crawford, but both of their best wins are Canelo Alvarez. Canelo was a younger, greener Canelo when Floyd beat him. Bud beat an older, slower, but more serious undefeated than Canelo. Now, Bud's not going to surpass Floyd because of the record. He's not going to make 50-0. Bud has to separate himself. What he has to do is do something that Floyd didn't do. Take on the challenges that people were scared for you to take. Just that's what separates Leonard and Durant from the rest. If Bud Crawford beats David Benavidez, he will surpass Floyd Mayweather as far as on the all-time list. As of right now, if Bud Crawford retires, I would have him somewhere around the top 5, top 7.
Trainer Robert Garcia sees things differently. He believes Crawford will avoid facing David Benavidez to protect his legacy. Garcia explained that Crawford is a smart fighter who knows how to secure greatness without risking unnecessary danger. Since Benavidez holds a major size advantage and poses a serious threat to Crawford's unbeaten record, the risk is too high. Garcia feels Crawford has already built an impressive resume and does not need to step outside his natural weight to prove himself. This reflects the debate between chasing risky glory and protecting a nearly flawless career.
There's no way. Crawford just got the biggest win in his career and one of the biggest wins in history. He doesn't need to go out there and risk. But it is too big, too strong. We don't want to see a champion do so much and accomplish so much and then end his career with a bad choice, a bad fight that he shouldn't take. I wouldn't do it.
Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, offered his perspective on Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez. While he admitted Crawford outclassed Canelo, he cautioned against seeing it as the ultimate benchmark. Jeff noted that Canelo no longer displayed the sharpness or power of his prime years. He added that critics doubted Crawford before the fight and still found ways to downplay his win after it. According to Jeff, Crawford's performance was impressive, but it must be put in context since Canelo was not at his absolute best.
Canelo knocks him out in the first half of the fight because he couldn't handle the power. Right. And obviously that proved not to be, or to be the case, that Crawford could definitely handle the power. Were you surprised that, it didn't look like, maybe once or twice it looked like maybe Crawford felt it, but never in any kind of real trouble?
Yeah, I don't think that Canelo really hit him. I mean, he hit him a couple times clean, but I mean, Crawford, Crawford's a big guy too. Crawford took it like it was nothing. I mean, he hit Canelo a few times. I mean, and Canelo took it as well. So I mean, basically, at the end of the day, I mean, they both took decent shots from each other, but Crawford just didn't get hit as much as Canelo did.
Do you think that was a case of you can't Canelo's a guy that's not out there throwing huge combinations, like he's more of a punch at a time kind of guy, and that's not going to work against someone as slick and talented as Bud Crawford?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, basically, Canelo was looking for just one big shot, trying to land a big shot on Crawford, but Crawford wasn't having it. And Crawford at times would say, I guess he would say to himself, I need to, do a little more work. And basically, and it seemed like he just did that, and he would let his hands go.
Legendary champion Roy Jones Jr. gave a sharp critique of Floyd Mayweather's legacy. He argued that apart from the Canelo fight, Floyd often avoided top opponents at their peak. Jones questioned how Mayweather is considered the greatest when much of his resume includes fighters who were smaller, older, or past prime. He suggested Floyd's legendary status is somewhat exaggerated. For Jones, while Mayweather's unbeaten record is historic, the timing and quality of his matchups leave room for debate, especially when compared with a versatile fighter like Terence Crawford.
Is Floyd Mayweather top 5?
No, not in my book. No,
not even top 10.
Maybe top 10 in my book, yeah, but not top 5. Yeah, he's maybe top 10, but not top 5. Floyd can fight, don't get it wrong. Floyd can fight. But here's what my problem is. Well, I understand, I know you're a Floyd fan, but here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought him? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he going to prison when he get through. And then to take it even further,
he fought Cotto.
Cotto was
Manny
not on his
Pacquiao.
level. Wait. See, stop. Let me finish first. Cotto.
You asked me a question.
Cotto already was done. And Cotto an all-time great? No. Cotto's an all-time Puerto Rican great. Cotto's not an all-time great in boxing.
I agree with you.
He's an all-time Puerto Rican great.
I agree.
All right, so that's not a great fight. That's not on your level. Pacquiao. You waited till Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez before you fought him. If you'd have fought him 4 years ago, it'd have been something. Because both of y'all were here. We'd have found out who the best was. You waited till Marquez knocked him out, now you fought him. If I wait till somebody beat James Toney before I fight him, do I get credit for being the greatest fighter of all time because I beat James Toney?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. So my point is, you didn't do it the right way. You know that. Who else did you fight besides them biggest, best 2 names you can pull up? besides Canelo.
What I'm saying is that who do you think around that time would have even beaten Floyd that he didn't fight?
So my point is, I'm not gonna say who
because I can't name a person.
I'm not gonna say who would have beat Floyd. Like I said, I'm just saying Floyd never fought nobody that was of his equal. He didn't fight a James Toney. He didn't go looking for a James Toney.
Another analyst pointed out the contrast between fame and pure skill. He acknowledged that Floyd Mayweather's global popularity, built on his perfect record and huge pay-per-view success, is unmatched. However, in terms of ability alone, he suggested Terence Crawford could surpass him. Crawford's natural southpaw ability and rare skill of switching stances mid-fight allow him to adapt to anyone. This adaptability has led many to argue he is even more technically gifted than Floyd. The discussion raises a larger question. Should greatness be defined by fame and numbers, or by skill and adaptability in the ring?
Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly while having great footwork? It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ. And not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far. And I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Former champion Shane Mosley drew a direct comparison between Crawford and Mayweather. He stressed that Crawford's natural size gives him an edge Floyd never had. As a bigger fighter, Crawford can compete across more divisions while maintaining his strength and power. Mosley pointed out that while Floyd excelled at defense and timing, Crawford's physical build allowed him to dominate in ways Mayweather could not. For Mosley, this makes comparisons unfair since Crawford's natural frame provides advantages that Floyd did not possess.
Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually taking more of a weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Jeff Mayweather also reminded fans that Floyd fought Canelo Alvarez when he was already past his prime. Despite being older and slower, Floyd completely outclassed Canelo using his defense, experience, and ring intelligence. Jeff highlighted that while Crawford beat a more seasoned Canelo, Floyd did so when he himself was no longer in peak form. For Jeff, this makes Floyd's accomplishment more remarkable and proves his greatness remains on a different level, regardless of Crawford's future wins.
Well, also, if we remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
Yeah, What was Canelo? What, 20-something? 21? 23? 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Yeah, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people.
Top of his career. But are you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, it shows, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying. Do you?
I mean, want
to make himself look like he did something great?
Crawford himself has addressed the comparisons to Floyd Mayweather. He openly acknowledges Floyd's incredible achievements and admits his legacy will last forever. Yet, Crawford emphasized that Mayweather belonged to a different era and that every era eventually moves on. He explained that greatness is temporary and new fighters will always step up to take the spotlight. By saying this, Crawford both respects Floyd's accomplishments and establishes himself as the leading figure of today's boxing generation.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Shawn Porter, right?
No.
No friends in this business for you.
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
Beat your...
Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
Trainer Greg Hackett praised Terence Crawford's win over Canelo Alvarez, calling it a legacy-defining moment greater than Canelo's own career. Still, Hackett clarified that this does not put Crawford above Floyd Mayweather. He noted that while Crawford deserves recognition for such dominance, Floyd's resume remains unmatched. Hackett stressed that comparisons should be made carefully since Mayweather's body of work is far deeper and more proven.
Because you got to remember, Canelo is the guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, you know, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, who else I'm gonna fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf. Right. Dang. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't no more ops out there. It's ops out there, but who gonna make them really want to get up?
That's the shit gotta make sense. That's like you said, you beat a shark, and then you beat a wolf.
Yeah.
But there's the monster.
Yeah, yes, but that's like a real monster.
Bro, that's to me it don't make sense. But that's what
monster.
Yo, is that proof? All right, we got the legendary Pape in the building. Legend.
Sure, man.
But what makes sense? Like, what makes the most sense? I know you said get a line of suits, Brooks Brothers.
Yeah, get a line of suits, get your money on. Get the easy money, bro. You ain't gotta sweat no more.
What's up, boy?
Not saying you ain't gotta work, you ain't gotta sweat. He's paved a career where he could sit down at a table and get this money. He could come out with a Terence Crawford series now, just doing whatever he like to do. People gonna watch it. Nobody, the fighting part, people don't understand what it's like to be a fighter. A lot of times fighters really don't be interested in certain fights. It's cause when a guy see himself up here and then fighting a guy down here, it don't interest him. So therefore when he train, he not gonna really train. He gonna train, but he not gonna train. He not gonna listen. He gonna feel like his coach taking it too serious and he's like, man, this ain't even that. But your coach like, listen, you could get fucked up. I'm telling you, You don't want to listen. Then you go in there and fight that guy. Then you get. I seen it happen.
Former champion Shawn Porter discussed Crawford's win on his podcast, highlighting its magnitude. He said Crawford didn't just accept the challenge, but completely dismantled Canelo in a way few expected. Porter explained that the victory proved Crawford's skills translate across multiple weight classes and different styles. It showcased his adaptability, technical brilliance, and mental strength at boxing's highest level.
Broadcast for Jake and Tyson, and you know, some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, you know, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules, exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, you know, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You know, you lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
So you don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Perhaps Crawford's greatest achievement is becoming the first boxer to hold undisputed titles in 3 weight divisions. This rare accomplishment demonstrates not only his versatility, but also his longevity at the top. Very few fighters in history have dominated so thoroughly across so many divisions. This milestone ensures that even without comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, Crawford's place among boxing's all-time greats is already secured.
Terence "Bud" Crawford defeats Canelo Alvarez and becomes the first ever male 3-division undisputed champion in boxing history. Thank God the judges got this one right. But wow, what a technical battle this was. It was a very close fight, but as it went on, Terence was getting more and more comfortable in there. I remember in the 7th round, he even stood right in front of Canelo and fought him on the inside. Then in rounds 9 through 12, Crawford really started to open up on his flurries, gaining Canelo's respect. But the reason Crawford won this fight was because he was surprisingly durable at 168. He was able to do his thing because for the 36 minutes he was in there with Canelo, he was never really worried about what was coming back at him. I mean, Canelo just kept going to Terence's right side of his body, and that stung a couple times, but those were the really only hard shots Canelo landed. Unfortunately, this is terrible for Canelo's legacy because the smaller man beat him up, and Canelo's kind of been cherry-picking his opponents the last couple years. But well-deserved for Terence Crawford. It's going to look amazing on his legacy. Boxing got it right tonight. On the biggest stage, with the most eyeballs, no controversy, just pure sport. And one of the best ever at the sport got it done tonight, Terence "Bud" Crawford.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more.